Hi, I'm Courtney with Valkyrie Martial Arts. I was teaching a workshop, or planning a workshop, a little while ago on breathing, specifically breathing for wrestling. And when I started to do a bit of research to see what I could find, I realized that there's really basically nothing on the internet when it comes to specifically breathing for grappling arts. Well, not quite nothing. There's three things that I found. First one, breathing is cool and we should totally do it sometimes. Neat! Okay. Number two, there was that documentary with Hickson Gracie, and he did that super weird yoga breathing thing, and here's some ways you could do that too. Number three, Farmer Burns. He did breathing stuff before it was cool. I realized, weirdly enough, that not everyone has a musical background like I do, and they're just not used to breathing on purpose or with the right bits. So to start off with, we're going to talk a little bit about how breathing works. And then the next few videos we're going to work on some awareness exercises so you get a feel for what breathing is supposed to feel like in various situations. Then we're going to move on to some strengthening sorts of things, building up lung capacity, building up control. And then finally we're going to just go through some quick, fun little exercises that we can do with a partner to get used to breathing under pressure, because that's pretty unique to grappling arts. Is you don't have to sing when there's someone on top of you most of the time, but you do need to breathe if you're trying to get out from underneath someone because you're fighting them. So to start off with, like I said, we're going to talk about how breathing works a little bit. So you've got, let's call it, three main body parts that we really need to worry about. There's your ribs, there's your lungs, there's your diaphragm. So your ribs obviously hold everything in place in the whole upper bits. Your diaphragm is the muscle that does most of the work, that does the driving. And your diaphragm is attached all around the base of your ribs, and it sits up inside in a dome sort of shape. This is its relaxed position. When you breathe in, it flattens out, and when you breathe out, it relaxes back up into that dome position. And that's really important because when you breathe in and it flattens out, there's all this other stuff down underneath that needs to squash together to make room for your lungs to expand and your diaphragm to go down. Which means if your abs are super contracted when you breathe in, you can't breathe in very far because there's nowhere for all of those organs to go. So when you breathe in a nice, proper, full, relaxed kind of fashion, you want to make sure that your abs are actually relaxed, because then all the organs have somewhere to moosh out into and your belly pooches out, and it's all good. The exception to that, of course, being if there's someone sitting on top of you, then you might want some tension in your abs, because otherwise there's still nowhere to go and you have even less control and options available to you. But you can have them contracted and pushed out. Imagine someone's punching you in the stomach and you're shoving out into it. And then there's room to breathe in to that space. And it feels super weird, and we're going to work on that later. The other thing that happens, of course, is as you're breathing in, your diaphragm is coming up and down. Your ribs are also expanding and contracting, and your intercostal muscles are the ones that do that. And they're ones that, of course, get worked all of the time, every single day, thousands and thousands of times with every single breath. But if you're trying to breathe deeply or under weird sorts of pressure, then it does put strain on them, and you can pull a little tiny rib muscle and it's super weird. So warming up those muscles is as important as warming up, your biceps and abs and whatever else you're gonna do before you have a fight. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start off with some awareness exercises, figuring out what bits move and what bits maybe need to move more or maybe need to move less. So let's get going. So for the first one, you're going to lie on your back, and you want one hand on your stomach. You can have one hand on your chest as well if you want to feel them both. Legs bent is fine, straight is fine, but your hips might be kind of uncomfy if you do that. And then all you want to do is breathe in and out slowly Make sure you can feel with your hand if your abs are relaxed or not. You want them relaxed. And just feel what goes up and down and what timing and how you can play with it a little bit. So for this one, of course, we are concentrating largely on the belly and breathing into the belly. So for the next one, we want to think about breathing into your back, which is a super weird thing to think about, but your torso is a cylinder and it can expand in all directions, forwards, backwards, sideways, all directions. And if you want to really fill your lungs up, you want to make sure that the full cylinder is actually expanding. And because the back is a super weird one, what we can do to think about it is if you sit down, hands on your knees or elbows on your knees, and same thing, just take slow, deep breaths and think about breathing into your back and expanding those bits out. If you can't feel it, you can also get a friend to come and just put their hand right in the center of your back. Right here. This is where you want to go. If that is still weird and doesn't work, the other thing you can do is put just one leg up on a chair and either lean on it or go straight, and that might also help, just a slightly different position. Okay, so now for the next one, what we're going to try and do is fill up that whole cylinder. So you want to be sure you're breathing into your front, into your back, into your sides, belly down and out. You want to fill up as full as possible. Again, slow, easy, relaxed. Your shoulders shouldn't be going up and down. Give it a try. It's generally a good idea to breathe in through your nose rather than your mouth, even in the middle of a fight, because it does warm and moisturize the air. You know when you're outside and you're running and it's cold and your lungs just hurt and your throat hurts and everything hurts and it's terrible? Let's try to avoid that. Okay, and for the last one, you want to, again, stand or you can kneel or sit upright. For this one, it's just, again, feeling how the whole body works and how it interacts. You do have a natural resting state. CPR these days has changed recently. We don't have to do breaths in and out anymore. It's just chest compressions because it has a natural resting state and you can go farther in either direction. So even if you're just going in and out and in and out, then there's still some kind of air moving back and forth, and that's actually enough, it turns out, and we don't have to like do the awkward kiss of life for weird, crazy people. We can just shove on their chest, and it's great. So just, again, feeling that for yourself, the way we can do it is, what you want to do is sort of gently exhale till you feel normal and relaxed, and then you can push it even farther. Exhale as much as possible. Imagine you're blowing up a balloon. When you're all the way exhaled, relax. And I'm back in that natural relaxing place, but there has been some intake of breath. And from there, you can inhale all of the way. And then relax again. And then exhale the rest of the way. Relax. Inhale. There we go. Let's try 2 steps in either direction. See how it feels. So that is the end of the awareness exercises. The really nice thing about these is they're pretty quick and easy, and you can do it kind of any time. So just every once in a while, take 2 or 3 super full deep breaths. Just get used to thinking about actually using your entire torso to breathe with. I'm sorry you're all breathing really intentionally now, and that also feels super weird. But anyway, so in the next video, we will be talking about some more control exercises, so some actual conditioning for all of our muscles. So enjoy, have fun, I'll be back.